Ladies and gentlemen, SideStrafe here with Star Wars The Old Republic. What the heck am I doing in this game? Well, funny story actually. I was at a friend's house recently and he was playing, showing me a few of the changes, and I felt compelled to try it for myself. And since it's free to play, hey, what do I have to lose but time? And that's what I'll always tell everyone. If it's free to play, if there's a demo, go ahead and try it for yourself. Don't take my word for it. It's just time, right? Not gonna live forever, but entertainment, priority number one, usually. But anyways, moving right along. This is actually post-commentary, so I've already filmed this footage. It's just running around in the background, so you can have something to look at while I discuss why I think it's perhaps worth taking another look at, even though there are a few other MMOs out there, perhaps even a recent one that seems to be grabbing the attention of most, and that's, of course, Defiance. The only reason I'd say that I'm not taking a look at that title is because I'm a bit turned off by the, I don't want to say the graphics, but the aesthetics, the overall look and design of the game. I don't think that the animations are that great. I don't think that the armor or models are that appealing to me. But who knows, maybe one day I'll take a look at it. I might change my mind. Just right now, it just doesn't grab me from, you know, having looked at videos and or screenshots. But again, things could change. It's happened to me in the past. We'll see. But right now, I felt like, hey, I had some good times in Star Wars The Old Republic. Let's take another look at it. And yeah, I'm kind of enjoying myself again. Even though it's free to play, I've chosen to subscribe for at least 1 month because I wanted to get the cartel coins that were available to me for buying the collector's edition and whatnot, as well as just be able to get some more experience while there's, you know, some 2x XP events going on, especially this weekend. And that also entitles me to a 50% discount on Rise of the Hutt cartel, so that's $9.99. So, you know, generally pay for 1 month, get a couple of extra benefits out of it. Why not? No big deal. Plus, with some of the cartel coins, I was able to pick up this cool armor that I've got on my Jedi Sentinel, which I think is really nice, that you can get something that's a complete set that looks very appealing to the eye, and that you can throw your mods into it and, you know, just adapt it to whatever scenario you may need. And there I was, just kind of looking at my armor while I was waiting for that objective to respawn. But he was there, so I decided to move on and wait for it to repop. There it was. I'm going for it. But anyways, so yeah, it's been fun. I think I'll probably cancel after the month, as I won't even be in town for the first 2 weeks of May anyway. But I figured that, hey, let's have some fun with it, pay a little extra, get some benefits. So there was that. Otherwise, this is not my main character. I do have a level 50 trooper who is a commando, and this was my first character when the game launched. I'd made this Jedi because I thought, well, I gotta have a Jedi. I mean, who's not gonna have a Jedi in this game? But then I realized, hey, you know what? The trooper's a lot of fun, and I just had so much fun with it that I turned it into my main character. And it was a blast. Not a single regret came from that. However, over time, I just got tired of the game. Things got kind of stale. I felt like my story started going downhill after the second chapter. I was put on a planet that just really wasn't that appealing. I think it was Belsavis, the prison planet. I think I over-leveled myself. I was playing a lot with Rurikon, and we just power-leveled. Not necessarily power level, but we were completionists. We had to get everything, unlock all the secrets, get all the holocrons, and explore all the maps and worlds, and do all the quests, the bonus, the heroics, whatever. We did everything to the point where we would finish a planet and complete things that we weren't supposed to really complete, because there was nothing preventing us from doing so, and we were always, you know, teaming up and having the companions there that were reliable, and I was going healing specs, so we were able to do a lot and complete a lot. But what we found is when we would get to the next planet, we would be overpowered, and it would just not be challenging, and we would have out-leveled the gear and equipment, and things added up. there was nothing that prevented us from doing certain quests. It seems that some things you're supposed to come back to, but we were just so good at it, we managed to, just finish everything off, because it's kind of like, okay, we got to finish this planet before we leave it. Leave no stone unturned. And that just, at the end of the day, kind of ruined our fun, and I think burnt us out of the game, at least for me. I can't speak for him, but that's just the way I felt about it. But again, the big thing to this game is also the story, and when the story goes downhill, that's about it, because the PvP, in my opinion, is still garbage, and the end game flashpoints, well, I really haven't experienced too much of them, so they might be more entertaining, but there was that. And without the story, I just felt like I didn't have much else to enjoy. And that's how I quit. So now I'm back, kind of refreshed. It's new to me again. I've forgotten most everything, and I have to, relearn a lot of things. Things are going to change with the rise of the Hut Cartel, the 2.0 patch. Skill trees are going to get completely reset, so I got to reread and figure things out, look up some strategies and whatnot. So kind of excited about that. It should be interesting, and it's nice because really at the end of the day, even though I had a lot of complaints about what they were doing with the free-to-play stuff, I did like the game. I just thought that it came out way too early, and there was just some stubbornness from EA or BioWare Austin that I saw in regards to the development. But right now with the free-to-play, some of the restrictions have been lightened up. The quick bars, you're going to get more quick bars as a free-to-play player, especially if you're a preferred player, which means somebody that bought the game originally. You're going to get, what else? What else did they change? You get your quick bars back. You don't get all of them. You get enough to be able to play the game, and that's more so what I should say versus getting all of them back, because I think you get even more if you actually choose to subscribe. You get 6 character slots, whereas before I think they limited you even more than that. If you're preferred, though, if you're not a preferred member, then you can of course buy into it with real currency and get some of those things. But those are just a handful of things. I'm sure there's a lot of other differences that I'm failing to mention, mostly just because I don't remember them right now, but it's not really important. You can of course go to the cartel shop, spend a load of money, and unlock half those things. Like, for example, one thing that is still locked on a free-to-play is the ability to hide your head slot, show your title, and unify colors. Those are locked unless you subscribe or if you buy them outright. So what you could do in theory is, like, if you said, you know what, I really like this game, let me throw down some real coin to unlock the things that I think are important for me, and then enjoy the game in a free-to-play state for the rest of your life. You could choose to do that. There you go. It's there. Should some of those things be locked up to begin with? Should you really have to pay for unifying colors or hiding a head slot or showing a title? I mean, maybe unify colors because it's such an important feature. Maybe. I don't know. But showing a title? Why should you have to pay for that? That seems strange. But otherwise, beyond those complaints, they've generally lifted and lightened up on some of the other things, so I feel that it's a bit more respectable now than it was before. If you are looking at trying it, again, you have nothing to lose but time. I refused to play it before because it was missing some really critical features under the free-to-play model. And like I said, I only really want to subscribe for the 1 month and then cancel out, leave it at that, because I don't think I'm in the mood to play or pay to play for the duration. I have a feeling that eventually I'll tire of the game again, as I do with most MMOs, and want to move on to something else, and so that's why I would want to stop the recurring payment. But generally, again, I think it was worth the 1 month at least to get some of the other things that were owed to me, perhaps even through the cartel shop. But so there's that. I think you can enjoy the game by yourself. There's a lot of fun to be had here. Of course, it's always more fun with a friend. Ideally, I think the best way to play Star Wars: The Old Republic would be to get a group of friends and each person be a different class and experience everybody's storyline. That would have been nice. I had a friend of mine that had suggested we try to do that, but it just never worked out. And the reason it never works out is, of course, because of time and scheduling. Everybody has a different job, and you can't get everyone, you know, on Ventrilo or whatever at the same time to be able to do these things. And, you know, that's the downside. But I could imagine if there's a group of people out there that had pulled that off, that would have been an epic experience in gaming, because some of the stories are, you know, really a lot of fun. And for the most part, Rurikon and I enjoyed ourselves quite a bit. He was a smuggler, I was a trooper, and we would just kind of tag along and view each other's storylines. There were times where we didn't, and we'd, you know, kind of just do our own thing. But for the most part, we'd help each other out, and we'd get to see what's going on and just kind of get a vested interest in each other's stories. And again, that's what makes this game. When you take out the story stuff, it's just another MMO. And really, without that, I don't know that I would have gotten into it. And I think that even sold Rui, because he was hesitant. For many months, it was, oh, it's WoW in space, I'm out of here, I'm not touching that piece of junk. And then when he got into it, it's like, wow, this is actually awesome. And he kind of ate his own words there. But I think that happened to a lot of people, because, you know, we're all skeptical. It's another game that has the same type of combat system that most MMOs have. But yeah, they managed to capitalize on it. And really, they disguised it. They disguised the quests very well. You're still doing fetch quests and kill quests and the stuff that we've been doing for years in all these other MMOs. The difference is that they know how to hide that fact. And they've just done it very well. In fact, they've probably done the best job of hiding it. But if you're smart, you can see it. Hell, you can be dumb and see it. But, you know, it's there. So, you know, there's that. So yeah, generally, it's hard to think of, you know, what else you can say about it. It's been out for some time now. I feel that it's where it should have been at launch. I've repeated this several times, but I think the game came out way too early. They wanted to make the Christmas rush, and I just don't think that worked out for them. The game was very buggy at launch. Not the buggiest game I've played at launch, but it was buggy, missing, you know, quests that didn't work, and just all kinds of general glitchiness that, of course, affected, you know, my level of entertainment. But all in all, the amount of hours I spent in it, probably too many hours, because that's how much fun I was having. And it's hard to find an MMO that captures me these days. You know, I've played MMOs dating back to, you know, text-based titles, and, you know, going up into Ultima Online for a little bit, and then EverQuest. You know, I'm talking about the originals, the good old days, Dark Age of Camelot. You name it, I've played it, I've tested it, whatever. So, you know, when we all hit World of Warcraft, that was like the staple. That was the game to beat. And in some cases, it still is the game to beat. And it's very difficult to find something that can do that. I mean, you come from that, and you're spoiled. So when I came into Star Wars, it was like, well, here we go. And the fact that it captured me for as many hours as it did was a feat in itself. So, you know, I have to put it up there with, you know, a game like that. Although, let's say my WoW career lasted me several years, dating back to its release in, 2004. I spent many, many years in WoW, whereas with Star Wars The Old Republic, I can't even say that I spent a full year in it, you know, let alone months, really. So while I did play it for quite a bit, you know, you can see with my progress, I only have a level 50 trooper, so there's that time, and then this level 20 Jedi. So there is that. Not as much time as I'm sure most people have put into the game, but, you know, how long it's taken you to do that could be a different story. I just remember it feeling like, yeah, I've spent a lot of time on this game, and I should probably focus on other things. And that's what tends to happen with MMOs. And that's kind of the reason I don't always cover them on my channel, because in a way it's a time investment, and there's a bit more depth and detail to them. You got to know your character. You got to really get into your skill tree and your abilities, and people want to see that type of thing. And I guess most of the time people expect you to be some sort of expert metagamer or whatever, completionist within these titles, or else they won't watch you. But you know, I guess you could say the same for a shooter as well. If you're not amazing at it, then you're not going to get as much attention, because it's not entertaining to watch somebody lose all the time unless the commentary is fantastic, which is typically where I try to make up for some of my mistakes. You know, even in this game, you'll see that I'm 50% keyboard shortcuts and 50% mouse, or maybe even a higher percentage of keyboard and a little bit more mouse. I generally have most of my important abilities on the keyboard for quick you know, for quick hits and whatnot, but then I'll switch over to the mouse for a couple of things that are out of reach or that I don't have currently bound. And I'm still kind of working on rebinding some things since I've gotten back into the game. So, you know, forgive that. But I'm a casual MMOer. I'm not hardcore. I don't join clans to raid. In fact, I hate raiding. It was a big nightmare when I used to play WoW, and not a fan of it. I'm not a hardcore PvPer. Although I do like PvP, I think that that's the game's biggest flaw. Considering that EA owns this, right? And they also own Warhammer Online and Dark Age of Camelot. Two games that have done PvP the right way. You'd think, let's take from that. We're allowed to steal from our own game. Well, you're allowed to take ideas from any game, but hey, we own these titles. Why not just take from them? Let's use the Battleground system from Dark Age of Camelot, or the Battleground and Frontier system from those titles. The PvP reward system, the team system, the fact that there isn't as many stun locks in games like Dark Age and Warhammer, and all those mechanics. Why didn't they just borrow from them and put them in here? It would have been phenomenal to see those types of mechanics within the Star Wars universe. And instead, you only see a fraction of those things mixed with most of the garbage that you get from WoW's system. And in my opinion, keep in mind, guys, this is just my opinion. Don't freak out, because we're all allowed to have opinions as human beings. Last time I checked, WoW's PvP is garbage compared to what I enjoyed in Dark Age of Camelot or Warhammer Online. I think those guys did PvP the best. The original Mythic Entertainment company, which at this point really isn't even Mythic anymore. Let's face it. Mark Jacobs, the former president of Mythic, now heads City State Entertainment, and he's working on a game codenamed Camelot Unchained, which I actually hope that succeeds, because I think his vision is more of what I'm looking for. But anyways, that's a different topic. That was the way. They used to say for Dark Age, PvP the way it ought to be, and I agreed with it 100%. Slower paced game, but had fantastic PvP with the realm versus realm combat systems. Why they don't incorporate half of those features into this game, I have no idea. Why they tried to copy off of WoW's flawed system, why they try to introduce that PvP stat. Don't do that. Don't make separate PvP armor. It just makes a mess of things. It really does, because then you can't just go from, you know, PvE to PvP. And let's say you're on a PvP server, which generally I'd like to be on a PvP server. And in the past, when I played WoW, I was on a PvP server. Well, my early years of WoW I was. It makes it difficult to transition. Whereas in a game like, you know, Dark Age, originally at least, I don't know if they had changed things, it was just about, hey, you got armor in PvP? Go ahead and use it in PvE. Excuse me. Although, strike that, reverse it. You got armor in PvE? Go ahead and use it in PvP. It's just, or vice versa, either way. I mean, it just didn't matter. Why there has to be a separation? I'm sure there's some math behind it, or some sort of explanation that somebody's going to want to give me. But I don't think it's necessary, and I think it's just generally too confusing and complicated and not necessary. But again, so that's going to be the thing that I'm majorly going to rant about today, is that the PvP in this game could be so much better if they would have just copied directly from Dark Age and Warhammer. Because, man, they had some good PvP. That was so much fun. It was so rewarding, too. Warhammer even capitalized on it with the rewards that you would get through PvP. You know, the abilities to level up and get actually loot and money through those PvP systems. Fantastic. You know, first developed in those games. Unfortunately, just, you know, bad timing. Bad marketing as well for Warhammer. Just tried to release a game too soon in order to fight WoW. And you should know by now, if you're going to make an MMO, stop trying to fight WoW and just be yourself. Be your own game, and that's it. Don't worry about the competition. Make a good title, and you'll succeed. But, you know, I think that's been generally about it. This is just kind of a look back at Star Wars: The Old Republic, giving you some of my thoughts as I have been playing it lately in whatever spare time that I do manage to have. It's nice to be able to play an MMO, and frankly, I think it would be nice if I could have an MMO or a more casual game to play and make videos of, because it is really difficult doing real-time commentary over a first-person shooter, because you're getting shot at every couple of seconds, and you know, trying to talk or create entertaining commentary or discussion isn't easy when you're trying to think about combat and tactics and look at a mini-map and talk to your teammates and do all these other things. It's not simple at all, and generally with an MMO, I'm going to stay alive for a lot longer than I would in a shooter, and it's more relaxing and casual. So that's why I think people that focus on RPGs, single-player games and whatnot, they've got it easy when they do their commentary, because they don't have to worry about fighting other people half the time. So yeah, that's the easy street, and I think I have to thank those that appreciate what I'm doing, maintaining real-time commentary 99% of the time. Very few of my videos are post-commentary. This one is just because I feel like, you know, getting a lot of my thoughts out, and I had this footage recorded, so I thought, well, why not? But, you know, so yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, but that's that. At the end of the day, you know, you decide what you feel is entertaining, and I'm just here to throw it up on YouTube, I guess. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I think that pretty much covers what I had to go through today. Will I create a few more videos for this? I guess it depends on how long it maintains my interest or what I consider entertaining. I don't know if I want to do a regular Let's Play on it. I have done videos for this in the past. They're somewhere in my uploaded videos list on the channel. Go ahead and take a look if you want. They're of some flashpoints with friends of mine, done via post commentary. So if you're interested in that, take a look. They're pretty entertaining, I think. But yeah, so with that said, I'll see you on the next one.